What's up, YouTube? Scizor here, bringing you an OU match. Looking at my opponent's team, it's fairly threatening. Threats include Terrakion, probably Hydreigon, Snorlax, and Tyranitar. Terrakion because Banded or Scarf, it's a big threat. Hydreigon because that thing has massive special attack. Snorlax is a big special wall which will completely decimate my Rotom or my Venusaur. And Tyranitar can set up the weather, which I absolutely hate. That's what this team is about. It's about getting rid of weather. While they're not huge threats, it's also noteworthy that Donphan is quite the offensive spinner with sturdy and priority. Even though it's weak priority, it's still priority. And Chandelure pretty much checks half my team, considering Chansey can't touch it, Scizor can't touch it, and Venusaur can't touch it. And even Victini has some problems, because the only thing it has to hit it is Bolt Strike. So enough with that, let's get to it. So this battle is against FlamingMonferno20, and we set up this battle through Skype. I'm going to lead off with my Victini, as he's going to lead off with his Snorlax. Now, right off the bat, I'm at a bad matchup, considering this thing probably has thick fat, so I'm going to U-turn out and go into my Scizor to take the oncoming, probably Body Slam or Earthquake, or I don't think it wouldn't go for Fire Punch. But he gets the crit para on the switch, and now I'm off to a bad start. But it's not too bad considering Scizor is a priority attacker. But it becomes bad when he brings in his Chandelure and I get fully paralyzed. So I have to switch out into my Chansey as he goes for a sub, and I'm just praying he's not sub come mine, because if he is, I'm already screwed. But it looks like he's sub 3 attacks. So I can just go for a Heal Bell and pretty much stall out his strategy until I can get a good switch in. So he goes for a couple attacks, Fire Blast, Energy Ball, as I go for the Wish, and I'm going to pull out into my Rotom, and even if he decides to go for Energy Ball, I know I can take at least one hit. I mean, Rotom's pretty bulky like that, even without some investment. So he goes for the Energy Ball, and I do take it with like a smidgen of HP left. I get back up to full thanks to Chansey's Wish, and I'm going to Volt Switch out. Now, here he's going to make a pretty good prediction, and on my Volt Switch, he's just going to sub up again on my switch into Tentacruel. Now, I'm thinking that my Kraken is pretty much the best thing to take on this thing, considering, well, it's a water type, and it's defensive, max HP. Even if it's physically defensive, it's still got some good special bulk. So, he goes for Shadow Ball, I go for Rain Dance so I can outstall him, because it looks like the Shadow Ball is doing like a third, and after my recovery, it looks like it's going to do even less, maybe a fifth? A fourth? Somewhere around there. He goes for an Energy Ball, he gets that special defense drop, son of a bitch, and I go for a Scald to break the sub. So now this is fantastic, just absolutely fantastic. I don't know why I didn't switch into Chansey here, but I just decide to fodder off my Kraken because I don't want him to get up another sub, which in the long run was a bad idea considering he still has that Terrakion. And really, Tentacruel was my best check to it. I still have my Venusaur, but that was my best check. So I go into my Plasma and go for the Hydro Pump as he switches into his Snorlax. And with a Rain Boost, Hydro Pump, Stab, Modest, it does quite a good amount of damage considering it is a Snorlax. And he goes for another Body Slam. Thankfully, he doesn't get the para again. And I'm just free to go for a U-turn because I know he's going to switch out. So he goes into his Tusky, his, Donphan. As I go for the U-turn, it does a really good amount of damage, and here I go into my Plasma, and I kind of was predicting the switch here, so I decide to go for the trick, but he decides to stay in and get up his rocks, which, you know, no big deal, but it did not end well. So here I go for a Volt Switch, as he pretty much predicts that and just goes for another Stealth Rock, but I'm kind of stubborn like that. I'm just going to go for another Volt Switch. As he goes into his Rocky Road as T-Tar, which isn't going to take anything from that considering it'll get the special defense increase from Sandstorm. As I go into my Mountain Dew Code Red, which can take it out with a U-turn or a Bullet Punch, but I just decide to go for the U-turn, predicting another switch. His team is kind of vulnerable to Volt Switch, or Volt Turn. So he sends out his Donphan again, and this time I'm not going to really take any chances. He goes for the Ice Shard, as I go for the Hydro Pump. I don't want to risk any over predictions this time. I'm just going to straight out take it out. As he makes a pretty good move here and goes into his Avenger, his Terrakion. So I have to pull back and go into my Victini, predicting the close combat, which in hindsight kinda should have gone into Venusaur. So now I've lost my final Gambit purpose, and I'm not exactly the best attacker. So he goes into his Lantern, his Chandelure, as I go for a U-turn, and I was really predicting the switch here because I didn't think he'd want to stay in after a defense drop. And I go for a U-turn as he brings in, yeah, he brings in Chandelure. Wow, okay, repeating myself. I bring in my Plasma on his Lantern switch, and I'm just going to go for another Hydro Pump because I want that thing dead. It is a huge threat to my team right now. But he brings in his Hydreigon, and it's really, I was surprised by this next move. I outspeed it, or at least speed tie, on this next one, and he lives with just a smidgen after an HP Ice, so I didn't really expect it. I wasn't expecting him to, how do I say it? I went for the HP Ice because I thought it'd be the safest option, and I thought he might overpredict. But he just goes straight up for the Draco Meteor and knocks me out. So now I go into my Victini on the blind switch as he goes into a Snorlax, and I can't switch in again. The Stealth Rocks won't let me. So I go for the Bolt Strike just to make use of what I have left. And he's going to go for the Body Slam, knock me out, and I'm going to switch back, or not back, I'm going to switch into my Mountain Dew Cone Red. So, again, his team is pretty weak to Volt Turn. I go for the U-turn. It knocks out his or doesn't knock out his Snorlax. It gets really close to knocking out his Snorlax with like 5 HP. I wish it knocked out his Snorlax. Then I could have, then this wouldn't have happened. He goes for a Body Slam, and he gets another crit. Which Chansey is able to take, but it's like, that was not a needed crit. He was 5 HP away from dying. He dies up to Sandstorm, and then kills me off with an Earthquake, but still, it was unneeded. So I bring in my Venusaur as he goes for another Earthquake, and I'm going to set up the Sunny Day. So I don't want his Sand up anymore. So I got my Sunny Day up, and really I can't do much against his team now, because he's still got the Chandelure. The only moves I have are Giga Drain and HP Fire, and Scizor doesn't have any priority that'll affect it, considering that U-turn, Superpower, Bullet Punch, and Quick Attack are all resisted or immune. So, while I was talking about that, my Venusaur manages to barely survive after I got a little bit greedy with the growth, but I needed it in order to win. And I managed to take him out with the Giga Drain. He goes into his T-Tar, and again, I have to go with the Sunny Day. Otherwise, Chandelure will outspeed me, and I will die, and I won't get off any damage. But I didn't take in the possibility that he was banded, which is going to be able to knock out my Venusaur. I go into my Mountain Dew Code Red, just going for the Bullet Punch, as he brings in his Lantern, his Chandelure, which it is going to do nothing to, no damage pretty much whatsoever. He gets the Flame Body activation, burns me, and I am going to lose this battle to the burn. So, GG, man. I've never had so much trouble against a Chandelure. So let's get straight to the talk of the day. Today's talk of the day, I want to let you guys know I am completely out of well, not completely, I am out of battles. This was the last of my stock battles on my computer. I don't have any more. The only battles I have are the couple that I had previously that are still on my cartridge, so I am open to battle, guys. Feel free to challenge, and I've uploaded a lot of OU lately, so please, not OU. So that's pretty much it for the first part of the talk of the day. Second part of the talk of the day, I bet you guys have all seen the new Mega Evolutions. I think I may do a discussion about that later, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just do a talk of the day, maybe I'll do a discussion, we'll see. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys next time. Like that video? Why don't you hit the like button or maybe subscribe to my channel? Or better yet, check out the artists who make this all possible.